All right, today we're going to get into something really fascinating, the unique and honestly pretty admired approach of Montessori educators. It's a question so many parents have. You walk into one of their classrooms and there's just this vibe, a kind of quiet confidence that feels both powerful and incredibly gentle. So, what's really going on there? How do they do it? Well, think about it. When you ask people to describe a Montessori teacher, you almost always hear the same words, right? Calm, patient, gentle, and this one, deeply observant. But here's the thing. It turns out these aren't just personality traits they were born with. They're actually the result of a very specific philosophy. So what's the secret sauce? It's not some magic trick or a special script they follow. Nope. It's a complete, fundamental shift in perspective. It's about changing the entire lens through which they view a child. And that shift? It all starts with the very first, and maybe the most important principle of all, learning to see the child within the behavior. And this right here, this shows that pivot perfectly. So instead of seeing a child throw a block and immediately thinking, ugh, he's acting out, their mind automatically goes somewhere else entirely. It goes to curiosity. They ask themselves, okay, what is he trying to communicate here? Or what unmet need is driving this action? It's a total switch from judgment to genuine inquiry. Now, once you make that big internal shift, something else naturally follows. It completely changes the way you talk. It leads to what we could call the language of guidance. And this idea of respect isn't just some vague concept. It's put into practice with very real, tangible tools. It's in the gentleness of their tone, the kindness in their words, and the sheer patience they show when they're explaining something for like the 10th time. These aren't just nice things to do. They're the absolute foundation for building trust with a child. And this is key. This approach isn't just for the sunny, easy moments. It's actually most critical during conflict. When things get a little messy or difficult, they don't throw this principle out the window. They double down on it, modeling for the kids how you can handle a disagreement with grace and courtesy. Okay, our third principle. This one's huge. It's all about something that Maria Montessori herself considered almost sacred, and that is a child's concentration. The core belief here is that the ability to focus deeply is a skill that absolutely must be protected. And it all comes down to one golden rule in a Montessori classroom. When a teacher sees a child completely lost in their work, totally absorbed in stacking blocks or pouring water or whatever it is, they will not interrupt. No praise, no questions, no good job. They just quietly observe because they know that in that moment, the child's muscle of concentration is getting stronger. So we've got all these different principles, but what's the glue holding it all together? Well, it's one simple, powerful thing, an unwavering trust in what the child is capable of. And you can actually see how this trust builds confidence step by step. It's a clear pathway. It starts by trusting the child with real work, not just play pretend stuff. That means giving them real child-sized tools, like a tiny glass pitcher or a safe little knife to cut a banana. This trust then empowers them to make real choices about what they want to work on. And the result of that whole process? Real earned confidence. It's amazing. So let's pull all these threads together. When you put all these pieces of the puzzle in place, you start to see the whole picture of what makes this approach so special. It's really so much more than just an educational method. It's a whole worldview. So you see, the teacher isn't just standing up at the front of the room, pouring information into kids' heads. Not at all. They are a guide, a mentor, and, crucially, an emotional anchor for the children. And just as important, they work hand in hand with parents in a really transparent partnership, creating this incredible support system around the child. So what's the payoff for all of this? What does it all lead to for the kids themselves? Well, children who are guided this way tend to grow into people who are more independent, more confident, and more peaceful. And maybe best of all, they become joyful learners, curious about the world because they want to be, not because they have to be. And that brings us to our final thought for today. This entire beautiful philosophy, it really all boils down to that one fundamental shift we talked about at the very beginning. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What might change in our own homes, in our own daily interactions, if we all just tried to pause, look past a frustrating behavior, and ask ourselves, what does this child truly need from me right now?